I hope you can see my screen now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you, Dr. Sinu, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. So now in today's world, what we are going to see is you have seen so many LLMs and so many agents. I mean, people are talking about, people are building prototypes and showcasing in various conferences and all. We have seen them, right? Now, the question here is, how do we build one? If we have to start from scratch, then how do we build one? To get started with what is like agentic AI and what things we can do using agentic AI. That's the core part of it. So, and these slides and all, we can maybe, and this just for representation, not literally we have to follow the slides and understand it, but it's about what we can automate using agentic AI. Ravi, can you please be on mute, please? Yeah. Muted. Well, so the starting point for building any kind of autonomous agents is workflow. What is a workflow? So workflow is basically when we think about our day-to-day work. Let's take, I'm just simply taking one example of a lead manager or maybe a lead management executive or somebody who is responsible for end-to-end lead management. So what this person is doing, so probably you may have certain channels where you are getting the leads. It can be Facebook, it can be some paid marketing, it can be your maybe in-house folks who are giving you certain leads. Now you have gathered, let's take 10,000 leads. Now, typically, how do you process? You will first go through a couple of filters that you may have internally within the organization. You will parse the data, like apply the filters. You'll get a small subset of data, and then you will start calling them, right? That's one example. And once you call them, you will explain what you are selling, what are the features of your product, and how you want to sell it, what are the prices, etc., etc. All those options you discuss, and finally you close the call, right? Now, can this entire piece of work be done by an agent? The answer is yes, right? Now, this is a workflow. This particular workflow of streamlining the leads, making the calls to them, and concluding, right? This entire piece can be automated. How we are going to learn? Guys, please be on mute. People who are not speaking, can you please be on mute? Okay. So this is first kind of like workflow that we can automate. The second kind of workflow would be the business workflows. So as an example, I mean, all of you are familiar with dashboards, right? You all build dashboards or you have been part of developing dashboards within your organization or somewhere else as well, right? I think everyone is familiar about Power BI and Tableau dashboards. Yes, no?
No. Yeah, we have heard about it.
Right? So Tableau Power BI, I think everyone is familiar about because within the organization you have to.
We haven't come across those dashboards.
I'm sorry.
So I'm not aware of the dashboard,
Yeah.
Pradipta.
I just
Everyone, please, currently for the time being, please mute. We will take the questions later, right? Please put it on the chat because there is so much of disturbance that we are hearing from everyone who is not unmute, not muting. Thank you. Jordan, please mute for the time being. We will see the chat questions.
Okay, ma'am. So Tableau and Power BI, it's basically a dashboard where the organization's data would be represented, where the organization's data would be shown to the business stakeholders or key stakeholders. And how that dashboard is being built, you have data warehouse. From the data warehouse, you will pull the data. You will do ETL, basically your transformations or any kind of a KPI calculations, metrics calculations, etc. All those calculations you will do. And after calculation, you will create a summarized table, or typically people call it as a gold table. And using that table, they simply represent the data in Tableau and Power BI. So Tableau and Power BI, it's all about building a dashboard. And dashboard is only for key stakeholders or top level executives. They have to look at the dashboard to understand where the business is going and how it is doing, etc. Each and every business, it's a mandatory process. Whether you create using Tableau and Power BI, doesn't matter. You can have your own organization's dashboard to represent the numbers as well, right? The question here is, there is a large group of people who are working in this entire process of creating the data warehouse, developing these ETL pipelines, data cleanup pipelines, creating those jobs to calculate the KPIs, and finally rendering the output to the Tableau and Power BI of the world. This entire process can be automated now using Agentic AI, right? How and why and what are the repercussions of it? How is basically you have to write some automated programs using Agentic AI, and we can do that in the due course, like maybe in the classroom itself, we can do hands-on activity, how to do it. That's how part of it. Why part of it? Because people should not be involved in data cleaning. The data should be cleaned by AI agents, right? The ETL logic should be done by AI agents. We don't have to necessarily involve human beings to do calculations, right? And finally, what we can do is once you have automated your ETL pipeline and you have automated your KPI calculations pipeline, the next thing is about creating dashboards. Creating beautiful dashboards like graphs and charts that also can be taken over by AI. Now, what the human being will do now? Because now you don't need people to do data management. You don't need people to do this KPI calculations and chart preparations. And finally, you'll simply get nice visualizations and insights, right? So that's how the agentic AI is now making a lot of noise in the market of automating stuff where people are involved in the business processes. And so either you can implement within your organization, number one, where you will get a lot of visibility and value because you are reducing manpower, you are reducing cost within your organization, and you're developing these pipelines. That's number one. Number two, you can prototype newer ideas. You can prototype on something new that has never been solved so far, right? So this data to insights, like directly coming from fine. So if you look at the agentic AI, so a couple of examples I told you. One is data to insight using Tableau, Power BI, etc. The number one I was talking about the lead scoring example. Number three is about understanding the unstructured documents, creating features out of it, summarizing those documents. It's it was impossible earlier. Now it's pretty easy for human beings to get the insights directly, even without opening the PDF files, even without opening the audio files and video files. So the agentic AI by definition is that it's the AI which will autonomously or automatically get the features from the data, decide what to do, act on its own, and get the goals or get the target or get the objectives that we are looking for. So definition wise, it's an autonomous system, right? And autonomous means you just provide the goal. So let's take a very simple example. If I take the Anthropic has released recently something called co-work. So in co-work, let's take, I'm a travel agent. I want to book a flight for somebody. I'll just simply give the options that I'm looking for a budget. I'm just giving a prompt, right? So the prompt here is an instruction to the model so that the model understands, so that the AI agent understands what I'm looking for, right? So as an example, I'll simply say that I'm looking for a budget flight from destination A to destination B, right? That's the only prompt. Now what happens? The agent will pick up this prompt. It understood what is the definition of a budget airlines. It understood the destination from and to. Based on this information, it pulls a tool. The tool is called a web search tool. It goes to the internet, does a web search, figures out all those URLs wherever there is an option to book a flight with a price information. It summarizes the information, presents the information to me that from this destination to this destination on those specific dates, these are the prices available and sorted in descending order. Would you like to go ahead with the first option? Because you have asked for budget airlines, right? Then simply you have to say yes or no. If you say no, then it goes to the second best. Then you say no, it goes to the third best. Like this, if you once you say yes, I'm okay with this option, then it goes to that particular web link. It puts the information and again fills the form on your behalf by taking your information and directly goes to the payment gateway. Now you can only put the payment like whatever credit card, debit card options there, and you can complete the transaction. So it is autonomous as I mean, if you compare it with how you are doing it today, you are simply going ahead with Google search and then you are typing flight from this to this destination on this, and then you are going to an aggregator's website. You are checking various options, morning time, evening time, price combinations, etc., etc., and you are spending half an hour on booking a ticket. Now that half an hour can be now reduced to probably 30 seconds option. That's about what an agent does as a travel booking agent or as an assistant who can help you in booking a travel ticket. That's the autonomous system I'm talking about, right? So at a very high level, the definition wise, if you look at, it's a autonomous software system that we are creating. Autonomy is provided by stepwise decision and planning. We have to provide the goal, and the agent should be oriented towards the goal, decomposes the entire goal and target into various subtasks and tasks, and adapts various strategies to meet the goal. The environmental interaction, it's about gathering data. Data gather can be done from web search, it can be from databases, it can be from APIs, it can be from third-party vendor data as well. And the fifth thing is about decision making, reasoning mechanism, which is like uh, if there is a trade-off, it is also looking at the trade-off. Like what is the best possible solution that I can provide it to the user? And similarly, continuous improvement. How can we improve it over time? So this is the core goal of agentic AI or core definition of agentic AI. Now, what's the difference between traditional and agentic AI is that in traditional AI, I can just show you a quick demo of it, like what is traditional AI, what is modern AI, or what is agentic AI, right? So a quick demo I can show, and then I can come back to this particular screen. Okay. So there is a low code, no code tool. It's called Google AI Studio, and it's free. You can just go to just type aistudio.google.com. You will be on this particular page. It's absolutely free. No credit card information is required here. Once you are on this page, so here on the left hand side, you can see, click on the playground. On the playground, you have an interface where you can provide the prompt, right? On the right hand side, you can see the right hand side, you have various options. You don't have to work on all those things. You just simply ignore it. You are on this page, right? Now, what you can do here is you provide the tools. So let's take there are various tools over here. You provide the tools and then you provide a set of instruction or a single instruction, anything that you can provide. Okay. So I'll go ahead. I'll click on the home screen now. From this home screen, you can see this Google AI or Gen AI. From Google, import Gen AI. So basically, we are creating a Gen AI client, and with this client, we can define a model. So Gemini 3 Flash is a model, and we provide some simple examples. Explain how AI works in few words. And I have to execute it. Simply, I'll copy it, and I can go to maybe a Collab notebook. Google Colab is a free notebook.
AI is taken, but you need to also know cyber plus AI.
Correct.
This is an important area, right? In this,
Just open a new notebook over here. And paste it here and click run. So first time when you run it, it runs an instance over here. It's a Google instance. So a machine will be allocated to you, and then you can run this command. Let's wait for this allocation now. Now machine is allocated. Here you can see the configurations. So disk storage is around 107 GB, RAM is around 12 GB. And here it is asking for keys, I think, API key. So this Gemini API key would be required. And what you can do, I'll just click on this, explain the error. Accept and run. So basically it requires my Google API key if you have to access the GenAI client. So on the left-hand side, I have my keys over here. So I don't have the Gemini key over here right now. So I'll show this later. But for now, this is how you will create your Google AI client, and where the Google AI client, once it is configured, it can complete a task for you. Okay. So this is just one way, and other things also we will see. This is using the code snippet and directly using it in the Colab. From Colab side also you can execute and you can leverage the GenAI agent. So for that you need a pro account, which we will discuss later how to do that. Just one moment. Yeah. So I'll go back to again Google Studio. This is how you will get started on building a Google client. Now let's take, I don't have any keys and I don't want to use them. I can directly go to the playground here and I will ask a prompt. Help me in booking a ticket from Bangalore to, let's take SFO in, okay, next week, evening or early morning. Fine, I'll just run it. So this is a prompt given by the user, and the model will now think and understand what is the intent behind it, what options I have, and how I can help the user. Okay, so let's see. Now what is happening inside is that the agent is thinking now. It's in thinking mode, right? It's in thinking mode. Now what exactly it does in the backend? First, defining the itinerary. I'm now zeroing on the specifics like Bangalore to SFO, sometimes next week. I need to nail down that exact travel window, figure out the best dates, and begin evaluating the options. That's the planning. So I will connect this to the concepts that we are going to learn in on the PPT itself, right? So the first thing is defining the itinerary or the goal. The goal here is finding a best itinerary for the travel. Now pinpointing the specifics. The specifics could be like Feb 24, 2026, Bangalore to SFO, and next option is processing flight request. Now this is the flight request. Then pinpointing the flight options. There is Air India 170 AI 175, exploring evening alternatives, Emirates EK 567, and then breaking it down. So these are all thinking mode, and this is going to be part of your planning process. I'll go back to again the slide. Now what happens here? In the previous slide, we spoke about. Yeah. So this is the previous slide. We spoke about a goal-oriented system, which decomposes the objectives into subtasks and adapts the strategy. Now in this screen, what we did, we saw the goal is being broken down into multiple parts, defining the itinerary, pinpointing the specifics, processing the flight request, pinpointing the flight options, exploring evening alternatives, and then drafting a response for the user. While I don't have the ability to process payments or make direct bookings for you, I can certainly act as your travel assistant by best flight, by providing you or by finding the best flight schedules that match your preferences for next week. and guiding you on that. Since you prefer early morning or evening departure from Bangalore to SFO, here are the most popular convenient options, right? Early morning option, airline, schedule, arrival, details. Evening, late night options, the two options. Now, how to complete your booking? So you go to directly the airline website or you go to travel aggregators. There are two options over here, right? And these are the sources or citations from where it is seeking those informations, right? So isn't it too simple? Now, you are thinking, is this agentic? Yes, this is agentic. This is agentic because you have given a role of a travel assistant. Even if you have not explicitly declared, it is considered, the agent is considering himself or herself that I'm a travel assistant and I'm helping, right? So the role here, I can certainly act as your travel assistant. The role is being assumed. The tasks are being configured. The sources of data has already been procured from those websites. Based on the information from these websites, it is drafting a response, giving you those options and also telling you how to book the flight. Fine. So this is a small agent. Now, if you want to analyze something else, and again, how or what? So some of you are already familiar about AI, machine learning, deep learning, etc. And some of you are not familiar with AI and machine learning. But let's take as an example, you want to build something, right? So I'll just do a file upload here. The files can be, let's take, I want to use something. This is some CSV data, just I'm uploading. This is a popular machine learning dataset from, you can find it in UCI machine learning repository. You can also find it in various other places. So basically the idea here is in this wine quality dataset, we need to build a model to make a prediction about the target column. What is the quality of a wine present in this given some samples, right? So I will quickly open this file maybe. Just have a look at it. You can see this file. There are certain information present over here, right? I want to predict the quality column. So what I'll do now, I'll go back here. Given this data, act as a data scientist, develop a model to predict the quality of wine. That's it. Now it will act as a data scientist because you are giving the persona of a data scientist and it breaks it and thoughts and thinks about how a data scientist would be doing. So defining the wine problem, identifying the key features, evaluating the model approaches, implementing the code. First one is data assessment and strategy. The problem type here is since the quality variable consists of categories like poor quality, average quality, and good quality, this is a multi-class classification problem. Now you look at this, and if I go to data, there are three qualities of wine here, right? So it's a multi-class classification. Features, you have 11 features. You have 11 features over here, right? These 11 are your features. Then class imbalance. Just by scanning the data, average quality means or average quality appears much more frequently than your good quality and the poor quality. So we will need an algorithm that handles the imbalanced data well. Next is model selection. So I recommend starting with random forest classifier. Then this is a Python implementation to implement the code, right? And finally, data science insights and next steps. Handling the class imbalance, key drivers of the quality. That is, what are the features are important and how to improve the model. Okay. Now my question here is, I'll take the first line of data. I ask, what is the quality of wine for the sample given? Use the model that you have developed. So I gave an image sample here. These are the column headers. These are the values, right? I'm asking what is the quality. Fine. The predicted quality is average quality, right? The predicted quality is average quality, right? Clear? So basically what we did here, we didn't build any models, right? Did we build any model? Does it require any kind of model expertise? Do you need to be a data scientist now? Yes, no.
Both yes and no. Question is,
Okay.
do we need data scientist?
Do you need data scientists? Now, with AI and agentic AI, you don't need now data scientists, right? Now, what we have given as an input, I have just given the snapshot of this. This is an image file. Now, given the image and the task here is to get the sample data from the image and use this to make a prediction by using the model that you have trained before, right? Model training where we did. It's just the code that it wrote for us. But did it execute? No. When it executed, when you ask for it, it breaks the task now. Defining the tasks, I am focusing on precisely what needs to be done. Predict the wine quality from an image of its features using that random forest model. This means understanding the data format, model's expectations, input image. I need to breach the visual information with a model's numerical input. Then confirming the input data. This is the confirmation about the input data, what it saw. Now, if we pass this exact array of features into a random forest model developed earlier, the predicted wine quality is going to be this, right? You want to test out something else? We can pick up some other quality. Let's take a good quality. Fine. So I'll just take these two examples. Okay. Do the same for this. I'm not explicitly now calling out, right? Now the reasoning agent should be able to understand what's the new input and associate it with the questions that I have asked earlier, right? And what happens here? It reasons it out. Fine. Now a reasoning agent is working behind the scene. It extracts the same information. It passes the same array and you get the prediction as good quality, which is matching here, right? There is no point in building models now. Fine. Now I'll say, give me clusters of quality based on the 11 features and map it to the label quality, differentiate the model results with label data. So what does this mean? I want to build clusters because I don't know, let's take this column is not available. So that becomes my unsupervised learning problem. I'm just looking at this data. My target column or label column is not there. So using this data, I'm asking the agent to create a cluster of data, definite clusters, which will help me in getting the quality, and it should be auto assigned. Okay. And it differentiates with the label that is available over here. Okay. So now let us see what the model is thinking. So it's in thinking mode now. So defining the approach first. I am now focusing on defining the clustering approach. My aim is to employ unsupervised learning on the new wine features. Map the resulting clusters back to the quality levels and perform a comparison. I need to figure out which clustering algorithms will work best. Now, this part, please focus on this. As a data scientist, you will be wondering on figuring out which algorithm to choose. Now, AI is doing that job for you. You are not selecting which clustering algorithm will work best for this kind of data. And this is essentially like a week's job of a data scientist. Because as a data scientist, you will be probably working on multiple algorithms, verifying which algorithm is going to work. Now that job is being done in minutes now. So as a data scientist, you have to find out the appropriate algorithms that will work best with this kind of data. And next one is analyzing the data, interpreting the results, refining the clusters. Okay. So a Python code, and it looked at the data. It understood that k-means clustering would be useful because all the columns are numeric that we know. And there are three distinct profiles it is seeing, right? And it is labeling them as poor, average, and good without showing them the actual levels, actual quality levels, because if we show them, then there is no point in doing clustering, right? And this is being implemented, differentiating the model results versus the level data, right? And mapping where they class. So mostly, if you look at the crosstab generated by the code, right? So crosstab view is not here. I'll ask for, show me the crosstab. So cross tabulation is basically mapping the actual versus predicted, or the cluster versus the label data. So we'll see now. It's analyzing, generating a crosstab view. So this is fine. So these are the three clusters which is being labeled. The sweet and the dense, mostly it is average quality. The strong and bold, mostly either good quality or average quality. The light and the crisp, which is average quality. And this is the cross tabulation view of it. How to read this crosstab? Cluster 1 is chemically good cluster. Look at the good quality column, right? Why? The k-means algorithm, without knowing the labels, grouped these wines together because they share a distinct chemical profile, which is high alcohol and low volatile acidity. So human testers overwhelmingly agree that this specific chemical makeup tests good. This is the average quality, and there is a Y part of it, poor quality, and this is a Y part of it, right? What insights you have for me? Right. Now, interesting result. Look at this. Two different use cases we tested. The first one is booking a flight to SFO, right? It looks at the memory, right? And it mixes both the information. It is actually quite serendipitous that we started this conversation by planning our flight to SFO and then transitioned into analyzing the wine quality data. So San Francisco is the gateway to Napa Valley and Sonoma County, two of the most prestigious wine producing regions in the world. So it created a story for us, right? So now look at and both the kinds of information and you are getting insights. right? So right now what we are doing is we are using the AI Studio, the free version of it. Now you want to get the code part of it. Click on Get Code, right? The entire code is here. Whatever activity you did now, the entire code is here. What you have to change from here? Basically, your Gemini key is something that you have to insert here. The model is already there, and your text is already there in the code. So this is the API. You can simply download this. Or you want to run it in Google Colab, click on Google Colab, you can directly run it there. But you just need the API key. Well, how to get this API key? Left hand side, get API key. You click on get API key and you have to create one. I didn't set up my billing. So once you set up your billing, then you can get the API key over here, start using the API key, right? So what we have built so far? We built two agents, right? But how do we reuse it? The agent is gone now. I refresh the page, it's gone. But how do you reuse it? For reusability, you have to get a code piece of it, right? So you have to get your API keys and you have to construct the full agent and so that you can reuse it for yourself. Okay, so these are two quick examples of how to build those agents and how to, yeah. So this is now, you saw two differences. In traditional AI, you will read the data, you will clean the data, you will do a feature engineering, then you will go ahead with a model building, then you will do a model experimentation, you will identify the best model, then you go for deployment, and then it is ready for generating inferences. However, in agentic AI, I just gave my task and I gave the data. That's it. The task I have defined, let's take the wine quality, predict the quality of the wine. That's what I have only defined, right? And the model figured out itself what is supposed to be done. So the agentic AI is a proactive agents that set and pursue the goals autonomously. Did we specify anything in this goal here? No, right? And that's the autonomy part I'm talking about. So when you look at this, the previous example that we were looking at, well, that's gone actually. So let me see this if I can build it once more. Just one moment. No, that's actually gone. Okay. So you saw the example of a wine quality that what I did is basically I told the task, it autonomously pursued the plan. First it planned. The planning agent's role is to plan it out based on the task. Then multitask capability. What does that mean? It looks at the complex workflows and domains. The domain is, let's take wine quality. It breaks the task into multiple steps. And there is a reasoning-based agent which plans the deliberate options and evaluate those options, and then goal-driven behavior, adapting the strategies from the environmental feedback, and then continuous learning, which means it takes the user input. It has generated two predictions, one good quality, one average quality. If it would have given a bad prediction or a wrong prediction, we should have given a feedback here saying that this prediction is wrong. You autocorrect yourself, improvise it, right? So that's the way where we can see the traditional AI and agentic AI are different. And this is mostly autonomous. And you have seen the examples of autonomousness right now. Fine. The next part here is architecture of agentic AI, the core components of agentic AI. So first one is the perception and sensing. This comes from your goal. Now, what about in the wine quality example, I would have given the data and I would not have given the data. And I would have asked, okay, just give me the quality of this sample. And I would have pasted the data over there. So it won't be able to provide the data. It won't be able to provide the predictions because data is not there. Data is missing, right? So the perception and sensing environment's role is to gather the data via APIs, databases, sensors, and provide or use the input for user input for real-time context. So this sets up the environment and the context for the agent to act on. Then comes the memory systems. Store and retrieve the short-term working memory. You saw the third example, which I just asked, what are the insights for me? It looked at the wine quality data. At the same time, also, it looked at your flight options to SFO from Bangalore to SFO, right? The memory system here retrieves information from both the sources that are stored in the short-term memory, and it uh, framed a set of insights for us. That means contextual learning, which means it gave an option that around San Francisco, these are the two places where you will find good quality wine. Go there and visit, right? So it built up a story around us, around the two use cases that we tested it before. Planning and reasoning, it analyzes the inputs, evaluate the options, and construct action plans to achieve the goals. We saw the wine quality example where it looked at the wine quality dataset CSV file that we have provided. It looked at the instructions or the goal. The goal was to develop a model. It evaluated various options, what kind of a model we should build. It assumed that random forest is going to be a good option here to build a model. So it went ahead and built a model, and it took some inputs from us and generated a prediction for us, right? There is also a decision-making engine, which is very specific. Like, you don't have to necessarily now build models and deploy it to get the predictions. You just feed the data to GenAI and you ask new scenarios to get predictions. You don't have to build really now predictive models. That's not required now. It's now getting obsolete. Confidence, yes, you will see some kind of variations, little bit variation, but AI agents are learning faster than even the traditional models now. So decision-making engine is also like very specific actions. What clusters are there? What is the crosstab view of it? How this cluster definition, what's the cluster definition, how it is coming up. So all those things you can see the decision-making engine is already embedded within the agentic AI. Action execution. So we have provided a new snippet of the data as an image. It extracted the data. It called the same API, that is the prediction API in the backend. It generated the inferences for us. It generated the predictions for us, right? So feedback and monitoring, we can track the progress and we can detect the anomalies and learn continuously from it. Okay. Now, anatomy of this memory and learning, which is the critical enablers for agentic AI. In the current session, I tried two use cases. Find the flight to SFO from BLR, that is one use case. The second use case is predicting the quality of the wine given a data set, right? Now, when we asked a combined question, like taking the entire data in the memory into account, answer this question. So it perceives the environment. In the environment, it looks at the context, why the user is interacting on both the things. It assumed that probably this person is doing some analysis on wine, and probably wine quality is good at in those locations in this destination, right? So the autonomous operation here is the agent sets its priorities, allocate the resources, make decisions without per action human approval. It does some judgments, and based on the judgments, it defines the goals, constraints, and decision boundaries. That's the automated operation. Number two is the memory systems. The memory systems in the short term, 4,000 to 8,000 token context, maximum 8,000 tokens. You can store it in the short term memory. This is for coherence and long term persistent stores. When you have to store it in the long term purpose, then you have to store and find the vector databases, knowledge bases, the logs where you are going to store it. And three, learning capabilities, in context learning, fine tuning the models, and behavioral adoption. So these are the three important things. Now we'll look at the key tools and technologies that are powering the agentic systems. Number one, the language models, which is the brain for the agents. We have various models. In this example, we looked at the Gemini example, which is already embedded in Google AI Studio. That's a default model. But if you really want to use it your own way, you have to get your Gemini keys, register yourself, get the Gemini key, and use the Gemini key. Gemini is another language model, large language model, right? Number two, vector databases. This is for long-term memory. So we have to store the data in the form of embeddings. So any raw data that you get, first you convert it into chunks. From chunks, you will create the embeddings. From embeddings, you will store it in the databases because you want the LLM or agent to use the long-term memory to answer the questions. It also helps you to perform the similarity search. That's the second. The third one is called RAG, which is called retrieval augmented generation. Basically, your responses when your agent is giving, it should ground the responses based on the data that is available in the vector databases. For that, you need RAG. So the agents basically query the knowledge bases and they retrieve the relevant context from the knowledge base and then answer the questions. Number four, planning algorithms, which will decompose the goals and evaluate various actions. So here you have chain of thought, tree of thought, and hierarchical decompositions. Number five, it's about integration platforms, where to integrate those agents. There is Langflow, which are also called your orchestration platforms, where you are calling the function calling. And in this integration platform, so you can find Langflow, you can find maybe Google AI Studio, then you can find low code, no codes are there, and LangGraph is a code-based thing where you can write Python codes for it. So these are the tools and technologies that we are going to use. These are two popular frameworks. Either we can use LangChain, AutoGen, Crew AI. These are Python libraries. The right-hand side, we have Hugging Face-based agents and semantic kernel. Semantic kernel is from Microsoft, which we can use. This is for Agentic AI. And when you look at the patterns and architectural design approaches, so the first thing is single agent system where an agent is completing a task. This is mostly a transactional thing. Number two is about multi-agent collaboration. So two examples that we saw today. One is single agent is booking a flight is a single agent job. Multi-agent collaboration is the wine quality prediction that we have done. It's a multi-agent collaboration system where the multiple agents, they coordinate and share the data to solve a complex problem and cross-domain workflows. The hierarchical agent, something that we have not seen in today's example, but we can see in future as well, where a layered agents, the higher levels that delegate to specialize lower levels for any kind of task completion. Number four is called your reactive agents, which is immediate rule-based responses for real-time and high-frequency decision requirements. Number five is about deliberate agents, which is planning and reasoning before the action for complex decisions and long-term strategies. So these are the architectural and design pattern approaches for agentic AI. And finally, the integration capabilities connecting the agents to various external systems. We can do intent interpretation. This is one of the tasks. So how basically the agents call various functions, various tools and APIs or various data sources. The Tableau and Power BI example that I have given you. So an agent will be connecting to a particular database, fetch the data, create the insights in graphs and charts, and ingest those graphs and charts and insights to any external system. That's basically the LLM parses the user's intent and prepares the analysis, that is insights directly. Right? Function calling. It's about the LLM emits the structured functions, the Pythonic functions for external API integration and also routes the calls and returns the results. Number three is about your tool abstraction layer, where the standardized tool interfaces present complex systems as simple calls. One of the example is Google AI Studio you have seen. So this is a very easy low code, no code tool to complete your tasks end to end. API orchestration layer, you will have other platforms like unit execution engines like Langflow. In behind the scene, you will have LangGraph, and where you can see the sequence of calls and you have to manage a lot of dependencies. If it is a code-based system like a LangGraph, it handles multiple retries because first attempt, if you are not able to connect to the API, it throws error. Should you stop there or should you make 2-3 calls? Because internet fluctuation may hamper the agent communications. And fifth one is data connectivity, data source connectivity, directly pulling the data from SQL, from databases, storing the data in vector stores and knowledge graphs, etc. It's a tedious process. And it has to be planned thoroughly. And finally, it's about execution and response, which you have seen. We have to execute the actions and show the final results, right? So the other side of things where agentic AI delivers measurable value. So these are some of the use cases, like customer service automation is one of them, knowledge management is them, then process automation and workflow optimization, various kinds of data analysis and compliance tasks that we have seen. So These are common use cases. And when we look at 3 different domains here, you can see financial services, healthcare, and e-commerce and manufacturing. There are a lot of use cases. This is not limited to only those 3 areas. There are plenty of other domains where you can see the agentic AI is making noise nowadays. Okay. And finally, real world deployments. This we will touch when we reach there. But just for your knowledge right now, there are set of tools that we will be using to do deployment of real life agents. It can be generally it can be containerized into a Docker deployment and deployed at a client's place. Of course, there are certain challenges. The deployment challenges would be there, but yes, we can mitigate those challenges. Fine. So the future of agentic AI, it's about like full automation and redundant manual tasks, repetitive tasks are going to be going away. So it's not going to be there in next couple of years. So mostly, I think people who know agentic AI will replace people who don't know agentic AI. That's going to certainly happen in next couple of years. So with this, I will conclude the presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know.
This is a question which is posted that all the data has to be in vector databases, or is there that we can connect it to the organization's database?
It's about a connector. So connecting, okay, let me break it. So in the previous slide, you have seen, just one moment. So you have seen something called memory management. You want the agents to on this slide, if you look at, so number 2 is about vector databases. So does that mean I have to bring everything into vector database? No, the answer is no. So you have 2 kinds of data, structured data and unstructured data. Let the structured data be present on your regular databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, or any other databases. Let it be there. Okay. And unstructured data is something like PDFs, PPTs, Word documents, etc. Your unstructured data, you can move it to the vector DBs. How? You have to do chunking, embedding, and all the embeddings should be stored, right? Now the question is, can I connect to my SharePoint? Can I connect to any other portals? Yes, that is possible. The reason behind here is you can directly connect to the SharePoint. But what is the point of doing embeddings on all the data present in the SharePoint? Do we really need this? Right? So you have to do curation there. Curate the data that is present over your SharePoint. Only the relevant data you have to move it to vector databases. Not needed. But if you feel that entire data that is present on SharePoint is important for me to get the answers, then you have to do chunking and embedding of the full data, right? So you can connect to the SharePoint, first read all the data, take it to a system where you will do chunking and embedding. After embedding, then you can store the data to the vector database. So vector database only stores the embeddings, not the data. Clear?
Any questions further from everyone? So this is again an orientation session. This is a quick demo and an overall understanding on what agents can do and how to train an agent, right? So this is not considered as part of the starting of the program. So if anyone is new to machine learning algorithms, how random forest classifier is built suddenly, right? That is just to show a demo, right? How it is to be done, because at the background level of any LLMs, there are trainings happening, right? And machine learning algorithms are big part of any of the LLMs. So
I think one more question is there. So Shiv Shankar, how is the pricing calculated using AI agents as cost optimization is more important for us? Right. So cost optimization, so definitely you will get ROI from agentic systems. And because manually you are not doing anything now. So definitely cost optimization or cost minimization can happen, but depends on the how you define the process, how you define the workflow. It completely depends on your workflow.
For running these programs itself, that there is a key that which we will be sharing with all the registered participants, right? So we have to ensure that it is running based on the task we've done, right? We can't just keep it on and then without shutting the instances. We'll discuss that. Shanti has a question. Open source stack or proprietary cost?
Regarding the infrastructure for building agents in this course, will we be using entirely open source stack, or should we budget for proprietary costs such as LLM API credits, managed vectors, databases for memory, cloud hosting for deployment? It's a combination of both actually. So sometimes we'll be using the low code, no code tools as well from open source community, or maybe open platforms like Langflow is a free open source platform which we can use. But the main goal or the brain is the LLM, and LLM API key is required.
So just to add there, from the program cost perspective, it won't increase from you. We will manage the cost.
We will
for
manage the
running this
cost. Yes. You don't have to get those credentials or credits separately. Within or as part of the course curriculum itself, you will be provided with the APIs, keys, etc. Cloud hosting also will do on a like separate hosting server. So mostly we have internal, or maybe on Azure we'll do. We'll see.
Yes, we will.
From tools perspective, any existing cloud service provider is going to be used. No, not at this point in time. It can be Google, it can be Azure or AWS, but not for now.
But one of the cloud providers, we will give the credits as well. With your REVA ID, you will get the credits for Microsoft Azure.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, Satish or whoever is? So whoever has a very specific requirement, we will take it as capstone project, right? Currently, the program is generalized so that everyone are on the same page, and university has access to Azure, and that is what we will mostly leverage, plus other LLMs APIs that we will be giving you. But for specifically, you want certain tools that and you have certain access to your enterprise ecosystem, we would give you the mentoring how to build your agent with your ecosystem, right? That is part of the capstone project. Custom LLMs are we going to develop?
No, that the goal is to use agentic, not to develop LLMs.
We'll discuss about the duration, etc. in another next session. Automating using for those who will get this support. Yes, we would help you to define.
Yeah, that is going to be part of your capstone.
Yes.
You can pick up them as capstone projects.
Can we use Olama? Any local?
Yeah,
yes.
we can.
Any local LLMs we can use.
Just given that your laptop infrastructure supports it. Olama is a very heavy model.
There are shorter, smaller SLMs as well. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Any questions to Pradipta? Anyone? Yes, we will share recording. Any other questions? Pradipta would be leading this program, right? He would be there. But today, just to show you what is awaiting for you, each of you, it was a quick demo session, right? Thank you, Pradipta. Okay. So I would address a few questions, which, but before that, we will go and see what is awaiting you, right? So there are two sets of participants here, those who applied, registered, those who got LMS access, and those who haven't received the LMS access because some process is pending. So we would want you to look at that, complete the process so that you can get access to the systems that which we have already provided. So let me share my screen. You can see my screen. Can someone mention? You can see my screen. Yes. Somehow I am not able to hear. Nikesh, can you confirm?
No, ma'am, we can't hear you. Sorry, we can't see your screen, ma'am.
Okay. Now?
Yeah, now we can see, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So everyone, that was a quick intro by the lead mentor for this program, Pradeepta. We would also bring Dr. Sima in sometime, but those who have come with understanding how this program is, who is providing this program, I would just want to give a quick understanding on how this program will pan out for the next 7 to 8 weekends till you build a end-to-end agentic AI system, right? So we would give a short glimpse on who we are, because you are not just getting into a project or kind of a certification program. You are getting into the ecosystem of REVA University and REVA Academy for Corporate Excellence. So the moment you get access to REVA University ecosystem, meaning you get access to the industry mentors that we have and also the research repository that we have. So it is not just a small certification program for us. It is skill building, your capability building, and solving some of your enterprise solutions. So that is why this understanding the big picture is important. And in REVA University, our division is called REVA Academy for Corporate Excellence. In short, we call it as RACE, REVA University. So you would get to see what are the other things that which we do, right? Because again, there are agents, as I mentioned, it is domain agnostic, sectoral agnostic. So there could be domain participants coming from maybe a leadership position, or we also have a small survey which we would want you to fill it up so that we know what kind of diverse backgrounds all of you are coming, because learning from peers as well as mentors are important. So it could be that some of your projects are very domain specific. It could be that I know there are finance professionals in this call, there are legal professionals in this call, there are healthcare professionals in this call, and there could be cybersecurity professionals, right? So we have been doing these programs in these areas mainly, and our understanding on these programs would, because of we are running these programs, that we have multiple use cases built across these domains, right? So we will give those access as well. And as we mentioned, for this certification in Agentic AI program, our partners, both Microsoft Azure as well as AWS, we would be giving you those access as well. So AWS credits as well as Microsoft Azure credits, you will receive with your REVA email ID. And those who have not received REVA email ID, that comes to you after you register for the program. So please put your queries if you haven't received REVA email ID. Once you get access to REVA email ID, you will get access to LMS and multiple other things that this program would provide, right? So it is again not, we don't want you to consider that it is just one certification. No, you are getting access to a lot more because of the ecosystem that you are connected now. And while we have, so in the capstone projects, you will get to see much more number of mentors more, because you will, for the program, there are about 3 mentors that who would regularly interact with you. But for capstone projects, you will get to see very specific, domain specific or technology specific mentors would come in, who are coming from the industry and who are, like say Pradeepta, he is the VP innovation. You will have somebody who is a CTO or a CIO who are very hands-on and have been implemented these things, right? And all our programs, as we mentioned, it is holistic, very, again, AI cannot work in silos. You need to know a lot of technology process people as part of it. This is the kind of environment that we have in the campus. So those who are in Bangalore, we strongly recommend that once the program, the full day program starts, please do come to the campus and attend, right? And you will have other about 200 plus working professionals going through various of our other programs work in the campus, right? So please do. And from RAISE portfolio, we do these kind of customized programs. We have cutting edge research which is happening. Recently we built, I know in AI Impact there are a lot of controversies on robots, but we have indigenously developed a robo answering all the questions about REVA in display in the campus with the code base accessible to all of you, right? That means we have built it. It is not bought, it is built with our participants. So we do all those cutting edge research here as well, right? And some of you are looking for a longer term association with you. Please do look at our master's program, because Agentic AI would come in as part of, say, an AI master's program. Okay, now to go to this particular program. So like Pradeepta mentioned, we would start with LLMs, transformers. So those who are not exposed to transformers architecture, like say GPTs, which is the backbone of all the LLMs, we would introduce you to the fundamentals part of it. And you have seen how contextually aware Pradeepta was prompting, right? Most of the times our prompt quality is not good because we are not very contextually aware. So prompting itself, we will conduct sessions on different tree-based the concepts that we would look at on how to build that structured reasoning techniques. And another one is, how do you convert your data, or your, like what Pradeepta mentioned, structured data is coming, which has already been stored in certain structured databases. But a lot of the data today is has to be converted into embeddings, and those are stored in vector databases. So that also will be part of this program. And then a set of RAG-based system. A lot of people might consider that RAG-based systems may not be required because we have LLMs. But what we have seen is that if you have a very specific use case and you have a very set of contextual aware documents, then RAG-based systems are a great way to optimize your cost and run smaller models instead of all the time calling an LLM API, etc. So that we would discuss. And build an autonomous, that means they would go and take actions, they would complete the task and take actions. Those kind of system is what you would be able to build. So that means it's quite stuffed, packed module, set of things in which would be covered in 7 to 8 weeks. Again, we have started with thinking that 50 hours, but then we would have plus some more hours, so that you get very thorough on these concepts as well as the use cases building, right? So that is the course objectives. And it has been kind of divided, as we mentioned, that we would first speak about the LLMs, basically how this architecture is working, what we just mentioned. This is the first part of it. Second part is the AI agentic part of it. Third part is your production and capstone. So capstone, again, if you have your enterprise ecosystems and you have the connectors, then we would help you to build an end-to-end system. If you don't have access to the enterprise ecosystem, then we will help you to build a RAG-based system which can work on your system, a locally hosted system, whichever is it. One more thing is that since all of you are coming from diverse background, everyone need not compete with each other. You bring your skill set today, as is what you have today, the problem statements today, and you build your solution. You don't have to look at what others are doing, but at least build your own solution, what you are looking for. Because at the end of it, if you are putting Certified Agentic AI Engineer from REVA Academy for Corporate Excellence, REVA University, they are going to ask that, what is a skill? Have you built a solution, right? That you have to demonstrate. So that means your repository, your project must be put in your Git, must be put in your resume as a link, and there must be a demonstrable solution. So for us, every project, every program that we conduct end up in a capstone project, right? So it may not be very extensive like our masters, but it could be a toolsmith project that you have 4 or 5 tools been integrated, and you have, say, 2 or 3 tasks been performed by 2 or 3 agents. If you could do that by the end of the program, that means you have enough skills to go and tell that I am a certified agentic AI engineer. So this part is very critical. We will spend time on finalizing your use cases. You may do it in a group of 2. If you are coming from the same company, I know some of you are coming from the same company, then you can team up with your own teammates there, and maybe 3 people building a end-to-end agentic AI solution. Or if you are looking at an individual solution, that is also possible. But it cannot be like, say, 5-6 people are doing something and nobody's only one person is contributing. So that might not be. So along with that, this is all instructor-led live training. Another big part is that how much you are practicing. So that practice sessions with the help of our LMS, I'll also quickly give the LMS thing. And your final capstone project must be presented with a demo. That means you must run your agent, build your task workflow. You show your workflow. What is the problem statement? What is the workflow that you have defined? What is the process that you have gone through? What kind of tooling? And finally, do a demo where that agent actually performs your task autonomously, right? So that is the whole program. And this is how your day-wise would work. It will end up in capstone project presentation and certification. There could be multiple tools being used, and you don't have to worry about paying to any of these tools. The paid key, the API key, we would provide to all the participants, but ensure that the keys are not misused, right? So that we would instruct at every class that how to use these keys. But otherwise, detailed, this is somewhat like a lesson plan. More details will be there. What is the lab associated with every day would be put in the LMS, right? Dr. Simha would meet you in some time. Pradipta, you have already met. Ratnakar Pandey is again one of our key mentor who would help you for some of the Q&As for your capstone, etc. And I am there to ensure that everyone reaches their learning outcome, right? So this is the team. And some of you might be wondering, what is that I can build? While Pradipta mentioned about certain use cases, you may look at from your point of view. Say, for example, you have a set of documents that you have, and most of the times these policy documents are scattered across, and people are not able to find a single place. So it is more than a Q&A kind of a system that can we do the retrieval, can we validate the information, and can we summarize and give real guidance to the employees. Say, for example, your HR processes. So it has policies, SOPs, contracts, etc. Can be, or it could be a legal LLM, or it could be a finance LLM that you can look at creating an enterprise knowledge co-pilot with an agentic RAG system. This is very critical for cybersecurity. So a lot of SOC jobs are now getting automated because you already have the patterns of the logs which are coming in. Already your tooling system is quite intelligent. Can we now look at multi-agent system for triage, log analysis, RC, and recommendations, right? So your mean time to resolution can reduce and improve IT operations. Similarly, compliance, because there are so many intelligent tools today. You have the policies, frameworks, you have suppose you are mapping it to an ISO 27001. Can we do the control mapping to the policies and identify the gaps and build a risk profile? So these are all today can be considered as capstone, right? Similarly, what Pradipta mentioned, that can be moved from very human-driven, very emotional connect, and the sales conversion pipelines are very, very poor. Can we automate that whole process from getting the lead to scoring to final proposal drafting and competition insights, etc. Almost all of you are kind of doing it in a chat today through using LLMs, but how do we create this whole whole process as an end-to-end system is what we would look at. Similarly, project managers, how do we assign tasks? How do you see the gaps? How do you create the reporting system automatically, right? Similarly, SOC, as I mentioned, we do a lot of work in here in RAISE for cybersecurity automation. So SOC is an amazing way because you have data very clearly been given and you have already the label data because your SOC analysts are always doing something about it. Can we now connect to, say, MITRE framework? Can you connect it to, say, your compliance frameworks, risk profiling, and then create a SOC copilot? So these are the capstones, right? And so this is about 8 plus 7 to 8 weekends on Saturdays. And what we expect is that those who are present here, I'm sure some of you are sponsored by the company, some of you are coming from individually you are sponsoring. Whatever be the case, minimum is what is non-negotiable, but we would want it to be 100%, right? More than 100%. How can you be contributing to 100%? So go through the LMS. I'll show you what is that you should do before coming to coming to Saturdays. There would be MCQs because for us assessment is important to know that you are really understanding this program and spending time, right? Concepts must be very clear. So we can't some of these languages as well, right? What is the role of an agent? What is the task of an agent? What are algorithms available? What kind of decision rules that we should put? What kind of retrievals? What kind of, so there are a lot of jargons which is going to come. So, right. So we'll have to ensure that your conceptual clarity is very clear. You must be able to attend interviews after this program. So that is why we would have a little presentation by all of us so that we know that we are not just giving the certifications just like that, right? And your final project demo has to be there. Demo, that means it's not a deck, it has to be a demo, right? So this is so I'll quickly share the LMS which is here. This is Shanti's one of the participants way. So this is what you will get on to when you enter. So you have the dashboard, courses, events, etc. Currently, that what we have mapped is audit courses. Under audit courses, you will see, please note those who already are on the LMS, please log in. Irshad or someone can put a note who, if any of you have any problem in LMS access, please connect with Irshad or someone from the program office. So you have something called audit courses here. In the audit courses, there are two parts that which we have been dividing. One is that you have a set of documents, right? What is agent? So these are curated from the websites. So some are we built it, some are from outside, right? So these please go through. You can you can spend some time to, and you can download all these things. So we don't limit any knowledge sharing here. All the scripts, all the decks, all the activities would be downloadable here. So you can download this and then keep your repository. This is the pre-readings. This part is where we would strongly advise for the people who are completely new to Python. These are curated courses. So say, for example, if you go to this Python for data science, and this is especially for those who are new, right? So there is a small survey also we would do. So please note, these are all free courses. We would want you to at least do one free course on Python so that you are aware. We would use a lot of vibe coding, but at least the Google Colab, and you must be able to familiarize with that. So this is one course we strongly recommend, the first one. Second one is optional, but all these will take about 2 to 3 hours of your time. So you will also can send us the certification after completing. That will actually help you because in your resume, more certifications you show, the employer love you because you are upskilling. You are constantly moving your skill set, right? So these are another set of courses. So all these click link here, you can go and register. These are all coming from IBM Cognitive class, which we found that it is quite useful. This is an interesting website, Python for Everyone, where you will get to see how a program to be written, how the syntax works, say your different, how conditional statements are put, what are functions, what are say your dictionaries are set, how lists are set. Though it may not be very upfront taught in the course, if you know these basics, you will be able to appreciate it much more deeper, right? And so these are the things that which you can complete it before we start the course, right? Now, this is audit courses. Next one is program overview. Under program overview, you will find this document. So this document is important for you to see what is being expected, right? So you will have this program, what kind of tools and technologies is being used, what is the day-wise lesson plan, all that things are here, right? So if you have any questions, most of these queries would be answered here. So it is about 7 to 8 weekends is what we are planning on Saturday. But since we are already running Agentic AI program for other batches, what we find is that it is not hard coded in terms of number of hours, etc. Minimum seven Saturday is important to understand the concepts and build your systems. 8th, we would consider it as a Q&A session and build your capstone project ideation. And by 8th or 9th Saturday, you should be ready to demonstrate your skills, right? So this is one document that you can go through. Another one is an amazing course by Andrew Ng. I hope everyone knows, right? Andrew Ng is the one who coined the term agentic, because earlier they were calling agents, etc. We have been using familiar with agentic, but agentic behavior is what Andrew Ng coined, and it's a free course with some, if you want certification and all, you may have to pay, but this is an amazing course that you can go through. And something around introduction to RAG, right? So these are, again, you please go through. These are interesting course, very specific to the program overview, right? And another very interesting thing that what we have added is a set of projects for you to see, right? How an agentic AI framework would look like. These are some of the use cases that we have already built here. You may go through. We have multiple other things. What I would also want to share is this website that you can check. So I'm going to put that in the chat. 1 second. Right? You can go through this to see what kind of work we are doing here, right? So anyone who is interested to know more about any of these projects, these are publications. These are journal publications. That means they have implemented and they are also published, right? And you can see in AI. So if you search here, agentic, you will get to see a lot of projects. You can search for LLM. You will get to see a lot of projects which are already there, and all these artifacts are there with us, right? So please go through these capstone projects. So I was here. So you have, say, for example, this is Bhaskaran is from Infosys. He has automated complete unit test cases. So your software development, one of the bigger part is testing. That how do you automate with multiple things? So he has used Crew AI LangChain framework to automate this. What you will see is the final PPT plus during the Viva, how he presented, right? So you will get to see that. Similarly here on SRE, if somebody is working on your cloud ecosystems, that is another project that which we have done. Another one which is interesting is that I think this is a wrong one. I think Dr. Rashmi is there. I think we will have to change this into the SQL wrapper that he built. So if somebody wants to extract the data from a database and then build an agent, that is also there. We'll add more, right? So these are capstone projects to see how end-to-end project can be built, presented, and demoed, so that you know that what is expected out of this program, right? So this is what learning management, we will keep adding more things to you, right? So this is a small understanding on how the program will plan out. Every module, a new channel will appear. Under that, we will add pre-readings, in-class materials, video recordings of the class. These class sessions are all recorded. It will all be available in the LMS for your always future reference. About 5 to 6 months, you will get the LMS access as well. So you can download all your materials and then then interact. We will also create a WhatsApp group where you can interact. Right? Yeah, interact for speedy communication, because we don't want to delay. If you have a thought or something, that you can post and then have interactions with us, right? Okay, I would love to hear your queries. One is non-tech candidates. Today, the technology divide is gone, right? Revati, there is no technology divide. It is only the mindset that the people who are technology driven, now those who are coding so much, now look at workflows, look at process, look at what can be automated. We can't be doing the same thing over and over for so many years, right? We will have to look at expanding the comfort zone, expanding to the next level, right? So technology people must now look at agentic AI workflow from a cost optimization point of view, time optimization point of view. These are some of the important growth leverage for enterprise itself, right? So technology must look at what are the functional outcome that you can show it up in terms of cost or time and the resources, right? You are going to replace a lot of mundane and very boring task. For a non-tech candidate today, what Pradipta showed today is a Google AI playbook environment, right? Playbook environment. So if you see here, yeah, I think I closed it. But so today under Google Colab, I'm sure all of you have Google Colab. We will put that. This is your main place that you will spend. This is with your Gmail ID. You can get onto Google Colab and start coding, right? So, right. So can you see here? First, can you go through this? Explore Gemini API, right? What is Colab? Getting started. And you have this Gemini here, an amazing, why don't you ask questions here, and it will turn you out the code. So today you must code, right? So coding not, you are not going coding from the beginning, you are just vibe coding, right? So definitely anyone can get into this course, but you will have to spend little more time to understand. Even for technical people, this is going to be a little next level thinking, that which workflow. If there is only one task that I'm agentifying, then that is not a great use case. But can I take an end-to-end workflow and automate this, right? So this is going to be very useful for everyone, right? Yeah. I'm a cybersecurity analyst fresher. Can I? Yeah, absolutely. It is not free. It is definitely nothing of value comes free. Please note, nothing of value comes free. And today, there are a lot of courses that you can always go and take from outside, right? So like say Andrew NG course. But where it stops, or what we begin, is that we will customize your solution for you, so that you have much more confidence in going and showcasing your skill. Otherwise, it becomes a mere certification. You are not able to apply it in your area, because all these courses are one-sided, right? There is no way that you can question back, you can get your queries being answered. That's where we come in. And we just don't come in just like a naive support system. No, we have industry mentors who are actually absolutely have built these solutions and building these solutions, right? So what you get from us with the price is the value that you can carry forward for years to come, right? So there is a price, and anybody can do it. But anybody can do it with the caveat that Anybody who is willing to contribute and spend time in learning, right? Because it's not teaching. We are not going to teach much. You have to learn it. It is guided learning is what we would provide the support system. Yeah, of course. See, we have right now, we have opportunities open for Agentic AI, Gen AI specialist. But only with this certification, and if you have a good demo, is one thing that will you be able to get, right? But what we would suggest is that listen to the mentors when they are going through. Say today, Pradeepta mentioned about Kaggle, he mentioned about UCI dataset, he mentioned about machine learning. That we may not get into so much there, but you know that fundamentally to prompt it well, you need to have the context. You need to have the context and you need to solve problems. That is where you will get jobs. If you are saying that I have a certification, nobody is going to give you a job. Shall we? We will definitely put all our opportunities in the LMS itself. You can apply. We will train you on that entire process of your resume makeover with a good capstone project out of this program, the tool sets, the skill set. But finally, you will have to crack the interview. Yes. So we absolutely support your career transition. That is what these programs are built. But what is that you bring to the table? That is equally important, right? Yes. The duration is, as I mentioned, that's all available in the brochure, etc. Yeah, it's going to be a kind of full day program that we will start from 10 and up to 5. So between today and we start date, please ensure that your LMS you have access, you have all the all the requirements, all the tooling requirements in terms of your whatever is there put in the LMS, have the context, have the mindset, and then you should be ready, right? So 10 to 5 p.m. because these are labs. We are not going to, yeah. Can we first go through? No, you have to choose the batch immediately. Only when you go, only when you register, you get to access our ecosystem. Only through registration, right? And mind you, like we have been running these programs for customized programs for multiple companies, and we have an excellent feedback as well as support system here, right? We are not just to give you a certificate. Okay, any other questions from the people who have who are already kind of thinking in terms of any questions, Satish?
Ma'am, we have one question from Sumitra. She's asking how long those keys are valid.
Those keys, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, those keys definitely have, the moment we cut the pricing, the keys becomes inactive. We have to keep the billing ongoing, right? And we will have complete monitoring system for the keys. So otherwise our cost will go up, right? Yeah. It is valid. I mean, we will keep it outside the class as well, but you have to use it very responsibly. Yeah, this is a very good question. If any of your ideas qualifies for uh, qualifies for disclosure or patent protection, amazing. That is why you should choose a university kind of system. So we have an entire, so what you just showed here in Racelit and all these things is what our participants have finally ended up, right? Doing it. Say, for example, something like this, right? This is a journal publication. They built it, right? They built it and they have a publication. Some of them are patents. And if it is a patent, the entire cost of patent filing will be taken care by REVA University, right? But not for journal publications, but for patents. So wherever you see a word patent here, this is completely sponsored by the university. So you can definitely build. Yes. Okay, Satish, I think we will send it once after this session. It's very important that you get, all of you must get the LMS access once you register. Okay. Just a second, give me a minute. Okay. Is there any questions about the program, about what is to be, what has to be prepared, etc.? No questions? Those who have the LMS access, is there any questions? You are able to go through the LMS? Yeah, thanks, Prof. So let us now get the perspective from our chief mentor in AI, Dr. Sima. He is a CTO and a thought leader in this space for years. He has been building, breaking AI systems for 30 plus years. And he is our chief mentor and amazing life guru for all of us. He will also be very actively involved in this program, design, delivery, etc. He has built systems, and that is what his experience will speak, right? So the participants here are quite, I mean, they may come from different background. Yes, Prof.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Nice meeting you online. In fact, always we say in RACE, any emerging technology, we want to be the leaders in bringing it to masses. So we want to make sure that as a university, it's our responsibility to create the knowledge and disseminate the knowledge. From the backdrop, if we see why agents are not new. Agents were there earlier also, but now the necessary and sufficient technology and the need has been established. Now the cost of doing anything, whether you would like to have a learned assistant to do your work, or you want to know whether it is factual or not, or you want to draft a legal contract, or you want to evaluate a financial contract or any kind of thing, we had to pay. We had to pay a hefty fee. Now the question is, most of that is encoded or embedded in an LLM. Is there a possibility an agent can do all of these things and can help me, and you will become the manager? You will not do anything. Rather, you will try to review what the agent has done. You will guide what the agent should do. You will evaluate whether the agent is learning properly or not. When you trust the agent, you will manage, you will try to get weekly report, daily report, monthly report kind of thing. This is where the system is getting evolved, whether it is software development, whether it is in any kind of system implementation which requires digital experience and kind of thing. Though there are things where it still requires human to human interaction, agent may not be useful. That is becoming less and less. Maybe it stagnates at around 40-50%. Rest of the 50% should be taken over by systems which think on their own, which learn on their own, which reason on their own, which plan on their own. When you give a goal, your goal can be, I'm getting into a contract with my landlord. Can you verify the rental contract? You can read it, you can do all those things, but are you better than a lawyer? I doubt. I'm not better than lawyer. Is there anybody who can do this better than a lawyer? Possibly another lawyer can do, but can anybody do at a 70-90% to a good lawyer? Absolutely. That's where the LLM and agents come in. How many such kind of systems that we can build? What is required for building systems? In fact, earlier it was more like you should know Python, you should know that, you should know this, and all those things was the criteria. Now the question is, are you a domain expert? Can you train an agent? Can you build a set of agents, a multi-agent system or an agency where you can replicate yourself 100 times, 200 times, whatever the thing is? And that requires a completely different set of thinking and different set of skills, which are not just coding. It's not just coding. Actually, you can do a lot of things without coding. You can use no-code tools and you can develop that. But what is that you want to do? That clarity, the scope of the system behavior are the three things you bring from your domain. And when you have this, I know how the system should look like. What is the efficiency metric of this system? If I implement this, how do I build this system? In fact, we assume, though we touch upon the domain and other things, we are not domain experts like you. We are basically agent development teams, right? We have built agents across different systems, whether it is power plant, whether it is fintech, whether it is edtech. We have built the agentic systems which will do some specific tasks, what the teacher is doing, what a financial analyst is doing, what a research analyst is doing, what a diagnostic technician is doing. These type of things is what we are doing. We know the patterns, the design patterns. We know how the technology is getting evolved and what is to be implemented. Now we bring this and we train the participants on building such kind of systems. Maybe about 2-3 systems is what we build, and you understand how the agentic systems work, how the agents talk to each other, how the agents learn on their own. How do we feed the LLMs what we want to do? Once we give these things, we want you to look at your problem and try to present it as your capstone. And that's where we see, yes, you aggregated all these things, not just aggregated now, you digested this and you are creating something new. You are trying to apply this to your problem and you demonstrate this skill. And that is the expectation you should also set at the end of the course. What is the system I am trying to develop? You are a lawyer. Can you develop a system which can argue and counter argue with multiple cases that you are handling? Can you train your people using agents? So a lot of things. If you're a fintech person, can you say, can I develop a system to understand how the market is behaving and what is market likely to do with XYZ kind of thing? So any of this, if you have this goal in mind, it becomes easy for you to adopt this agentic AI into your workflow. So that's where we would like to bring our expertise in building multiple systems and give what we know. And if there is any review that is to be done with your systems when you are implementing the capstone and things like that, we would like to help you. But we are here to be part of your success. Any concerns, any questions you have, please feel free.
We have, I think Zillion team wants to ask anything in terms of workflows. Any workflows you are looking for automation? From Zillion. I know I can see Satish. Others? Or anyone else?
No, please feel free. If you have any questions, any concerns, we are happy to answer those questions.
There were a lot of questions we answered in the beginning.
Okay.
But financial industry, okay?
Huge. For example, when you say financial industry, it is so wide. One of the things that we are looking now is can credit rating be based on not just the fundamental and technical performance of the company? Can it be based on the sentiments and the market perspectives and the investments that has been done in similar kind of companies? Can we get multiple things that can be compliance related? Yeah, we'll come back. So that's one of the use cases where the credit rating or credit scoring can be based on not internal data. It can be based on external data also. So can you make a set of assistants, which does when somebody comes for anything, can he scan his Facebook presence? Can he scan its Twitter or whatever the presence and try to see what he likes, what he dislikes, what he presents and things like that. Based on that, can a risk score be attached along with the intrinsic risk score which can be generated? That's the simplest use case which a bank can work with, especially the new age banks which are completely digitized. There is no human contact needed and things like that. They are going with these type of agentic based systems. And when it comes to fraud detection, so can the fraud detection agents look at multiple layers? Can some agent look at the merchant level? Can some agent look at the transaction signature level? Can another agent look at the rule-based level? Combine all this and try to give an aggregator agent. The multiple use cases are in finance. telecom. Many things in telecom. When it comes to telecom, certainly the first use case that we are interested in is, do you know your customer lifetime value model? What is the customer lifecycle journey? And how do you detect the trigger points using agents? Currently, people will be sitting and trying to see what is the tenure, what is the average value that they are generating now, what is the ARPU that I can get out of this person if he stays with me for next 6 months, what are the additional things that I would like to give. The customer lifecycle modeling is one of the things we strongly advocate. Next, we work on the revenue lifecycle. Where is the revenue coming from? Where the revenue is likely to be get leaked, and what may be the reasons for that leakage? Especially when we get into revenue assurance systems, that becomes. Sorry. We lost you for a minute. So we can look at customer life cycle, product life cycle, revenue life cycle, network life cycle agents. In fact, network life cycle agents in telecom is totally a different beast than using just LLM. You may have to get down to elements level. So whether electrical, radio, mechanical, civil equipment, any kind of elements are likely to be affected. How do you know that? How do you monitor? Can you use predictive maintenance there? All of this can be done through multiple agents talking to each other, perceiving the telecom environment, getting the data, trying to apply the knowledge that is already there, the patterns which has been learned, and try to reason and plan the best action. These are all the things that can be done with the telecom. Next is compliance. Yes, compliance is the first thing that RBI master direction, beautiful. Actually, we are working in one such kind of application where we are trying to see any company that has to comply to MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, if they had to do something. I should know whether POSH Act is applicable to me, PF Act is applicable to me. If it is applicable to me, am I compliant or not? If I am compliant, everything is okay. If I am not compliant, what is the penalty? Is the penalty I can absorb, or the penalty is so severe that I may have to close down my company? So all of this from the compliance perspective, too many things are there from the compliance perspective. So in cases, cloud ops support, we are doing a lot of things, even in the courses that we are doing. Some of the use cases, for example, DevOps, one of the DevOps that is happening now is our client is basically serving managed service operations, MSO kind of thing, and supporting the infrastructure. When they are working on the infrastructure, the logs will be generated, and they would like to see. Currently, the process is when the log is generated, if something is critical and it is latent. If it is critical and it is triggered, it is very easy to accept. If it is critical but latent, not visible, but somebody has to sit and do the analysis of the log, then it will come out. That is taking about 1 hour for them to react. Now we are building a system, agentic system, which analyzes this log and try to give the resolution plan within a minute. We are reducing it from 60 minutes to 1 minute, which is almost somewhere around 6,000% improvement in the productivity. Such kind of use cases are there. On premises, there are plenty of things. For example, if you look at OpenClaw is local. I can put it on my laptop. You can put it on premises, and any of these agentic systems, you can put it on premise. Especially if you use LLM, you need a GPU based server. If it is non-LLM based, it can be put on any distributed system, not necessarily one premise system. It can be one big server, or it can be a distributed services. It can be done. It is not a problem.
I think that question why
difficult.
Timothy? Why? What is the reason? Timothy can unmute. Okay. That is why are you connecting DevOps with education?
Maybe it is the fatigue. It is the response and action fatigue that may need some kind of psychological support. But sorry, these are some of the domains Government of India prohibits anybody to get in, because there must be some kind of psychologist, counselor, or a RCI registered person should be there for any type of counseling. Possible, but we do not want to get into it. You can, if you have domain expertise, you can always do. Yes, yes. IAM is one area where basically the idea is how you can move from just robotic process automation to intelligence, planning, reasoning based systems is what agents bring in. If it is just RPA, it is reflex agent. Now you are moving from reflex agent to autonomous agent. That's what we are trying to do. All of the things what you're mentioning are, quite a good agentic case. Okay.
So thank you so much, Prof. So since we have reached the end of this 2 hour session, is there any last minute comment anyone has on anything? So as an immediate next step, we would request all of you to complete the LMS access. There is a survey that which we have put in the LMS. It is important for us to know each of your current level. So please complete that survey, go through the LMS. If you can complete that Python basic certification before we start, that will be very good. Okay. Okay, so everyone, the contact Nikesh, you can please ping. Yes, cybersecurity, as I think we've discussed multiple times, right? Your incident response management system, or specifically if you are looking at only, Prof, you want to take that question?
Cybersecurity, multiple layers and multiple domains. Starting with IAM, we would like to look at the incident management, then patch management. Then we would like to look at, especially in security itself, how do you do resource planning, right? Both human resource as well as the additional resources that are required. How do you do all of that? Can this be made autonomous, and can each agent talk to each other? Not just I will do only planning, I will not do reasoning. I will just look at IAM. I will not look at the whole process. So you can build an agency. That's where the whole world is going towards. What kind of agencies you have? So does your agency really support the security operations? Now, let's say that I do not want to look at how many people you reduced. Rather, I would like to look at how is the productivity. Earlier, I was spending 8 hours and the fatigue was 60%. Now you're working for 4 hours and the fatigue is 30%. That's a good improvement. That's where we are looking at the agents to move.
You could refer to the RaceLit projects and cybersecurity projects which we have put in LMS. Whoever has wanted more information.
Yeah.
Priyanka, yes. Okay. So Nikesh has put certain numbers. Please take a screenshot, or you can save these numbers. And immediate next step, because we are running short of time. So please complete the process before we meet next time. Please ensure that your Python basics are at least validated through a certification, and you have your Google notebook. We will do vibe coding, but please ensure that you have all those basics have been ready, right? And we are available a call away, or we are in WhatsApp. Nikesh, you want to put that WhatsApp group link as well, right? Yeah, Nikesh is very helpful, and thank you. I think that's a great endorsement. Yeah, Nikesh, thanks. Okay. So see you for the regular session. We will not have an orientation. This session will be recorded, so you can go through, and if you have any questions, please connect. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.